both did it. That was awesome. Good stuff.
I love this little thing.
Skirt. All right, what up, blockheads? Riding with me here is Reese.
What up?
We're actually headed up to Ace Cafe right now to meet with Shade Tree Surgeon.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Damn, that was a hell of an intro for Shade Tree. All right. Shade Tree texted me yesterday. He's like, yo, we're coming to Orlando, headed to Ace Cafe. You want to meet up? So I was like, sure, we are down. Harley is currently in the garage undergoing some work. Dang, Grom Killer. Nice. So yeah, we're at Ace Cafe right now. On the way, Reese and I have tried to record this video a while back, but had some mic issues. Hopefully this time around we're not having mic issues. And we're gonna do a quick video on the way there comparing the Honda Grom to the Kawasaki Z125. So I'm riding a Honda Grom and Reese is riding the Kawasaki Z125. A lot of people come to the channel and they ask, you know, should I buy a Grom or should I buy a Z125? You know, they're very comparable bikes. You know, obviously they're both 125cc. They're both good at doing that. So same displacement, 125cc. In terms of horsepower, this one has this number as stock horsepower, and the Z125 has that number, stock horsepower. So off the bat, you said they marketed it as the Grom Killer?
Yep.
Yeah, so it does feel faster than the Grom. So we're just going to do a comparison video here. Obviously this one is not stock. Reese's is not stock. He's got a couple things done to it. But in terms of like controls and all that stuff, it is stock. You know, do have shorty levers, but yeah, it's just going to kind of be going over the controls and like the ergonomics and how the bikes feel, you know, their seating position, stuff like that. So just to jump right into it, these are the controls for a Honda Grom. Specifically, this bike is a 2018. It's just like a normal big bike, but miniaturized, mini bike. And I do have aftermarket bars on it, which are very similar to the stock bars. The stock bars actually come up and they're a little tiny bit shorter, so they'd be about right here, but very similar. These are the Pro Taper XR50s, Pro Taper SE XR50s. On the right side, you know, obviously brake, throttle. Normally you'd have a mirror that comes up right here, you know, on both sides, so they stick up, big old ears. You do have your on-off switch or your kill switch, and then your starter there. Brake reservoir, obviously front brake. Stock, it does have longer levers. Left side here, you have your controls for your lights, so high beam, low beam, indicators there for the high beam. You have your horn, beep. So yeah, horn right there.
Oh, where's my horn? There it is.
And then your indicators below that. So you've got left indicator, right indicator, and then to turn them off, press them in. Now I have outfitted it with some different grips, some bar and mirrors, just get the profile down lower. I outfitted it with this phone holder as well by Ram Mounts, which attaches to the clamp for either the clutch reservoir or the clutch lever, and then the bar is like has the bar pad as well. So looking at the controls, like or the indicators and stuff here on the dash, you've got your left blinker, your right blinker, and then you've got your neutral light in the middle there as well, your high beam indicator, sorry, and then your check engine light also, which you can see whenever you're turning it on. On the left side, you do have a fuel gauge. You have your RPMs, which go up to 10,000, so red line starts at about 8.5. You've got your miles per hour, which you can change to kilometers per hour as well. You've got your total mileage, and then you've got your buttons on the side, so you have your selection. Yeah, your select, like on this side, right? So if you press that, it changes to trip A. Press it again, it changes to trip B. Bumpy road. Press it again, it changes to mileage. And then on your right side you have set, which if you hold like these buttons in combination with one another, you do different features. You know, you can change like the time and, like I said, miles per hour to kilometers per hour. So yeah, that's the controls. in terms of ergonomics, so with the stock seat, you've got basically this little ridge. It goes up and back, so it kind of puts you a little more forward. I'm 5'10" tall. This is how my legs set on it. I'm not, even with the stock bars full tilt, I actually don't hit my knees. They're actually above my knees, so I know that's a big concern for a lot of people. And I know that's one of those things that, like, even people that are 6 foot something tall, you know, have talked about sitting on this bike and the bar's not hitting their knees when they're full tilt, which is pretty crazy. I know a guy that was like 6'2", he said he sat on it and he didn't have a problem with that, which is pretty awesome. So in terms of the ergonomics on this one, it does feel like you're a little lower to the ground as compared to the Z125. Your feet feel lower to the ground, which I'll get on the Z here in a minute. Reese and I will trade off. But how tall are you?
5'8".
5'8". All right, so that is how Reese sets on the Kawasaki Z125. It doesn't, like, to me, right, having ridden that bike before, it has more of like a sport bike stance to it. You know, I feel like your legs are a little higher up and it angles you like a little more forward, versus the Grom, it feels a little more like a upright. But I mean, that is a very slight difference. For the Honda Grom, there's a massive community around the bike. I'm sure you guys have possibly seen or heard about Grom Day. So if you guys have seen that, I actually made a video, Grom Day 6.0, where there was like 300 plus Honda Groms and various other bikes rolling through Jacksonville. It was insane. A lot of people do the Z125s as well, you know, in that mini bike class. But yeah, the Groms, I think, have a larger community behind them than the Z125, so that is a perk of a Grom. However, they are a little bit more expensive in terms of price point than a Z125 by about, like what, like $1,000 or so, Reese?
I would say, yeah, between 8 to 1,000.
Yeah, this depends on the deal you get. I got mine and Miss Blockhead's for $3,800 out the door, brand new. What did you get yours for out the door?
28.
2,800, yeah. So
yep.
That's about $1,000 difference, or that is a $1,000 difference. If you're comparing the two in terms of price, a lot of people do the Z125, you know, because they're more on a budget, and it's a good bike. I will say the Honda Grom does seem to have more aftermarket options, just because, like, the community, and it's been around longer. They both are able to wheelie very well because they're such lightweight, fun bikes. One of the reasons I went with the Grom is because the aftermarket options are absolutely endless, and I traded a CBR 1000 RR straight up for like 2 of them, which, you know, one for me, one for Miss Block. I absolutely love the bike. It's a ton of fun. And then you've got the Z125. Once we hit a red light, Reese and I'll have to swap over here. But yeah, what are your thoughts, opinions on the Kawasaki Z125, having owned it for a while?
I like it, man. I like it. Definitely has a little bit more on the torquey side. It's a little more, in my opinion, I think it has a little more top end than the Honda, the Grom.
Right.
But other than that, they're pretty much almost identical.
Yeah.
Way about the same. But definitely the aftermarket community is a lot bigger for the Grom. I had some hard time trying to find some parts, like with the taillight and everything. There's not that many options out there as there is for Groms.
Right.
And same thing with the exhaust. I'm having troubles with the exhaust. There's definitely a bunch. Only bad thing is because these were from Thailand, all the parts are still in Thailand. No matter where you go, you have to go to websites that still ship from Thailand.
Yeah, that's true. So I have looked up a bunch of parts for this, and I'm like, ooh, like, I want that, and it'll be like delivery time, you know, 1 to 2 months. It's like, what the hell? Well, the thing is, you know, it being made over there, and it having, like, being big over there as well, you know, both the bikes, there's a lot of sellers that sell, you know, aftermarket stuff like exhaust, seats, you know, like all sorts of stuff for these things, but they are manufactured and sold in Thailand. I mean, usually they're cheap, but you have to pay a good amount in shipping. But usually
it's about a month lead time.
Yeah, it's about a month to ship. I think my seat took right about a month whenever I ordered it, and I'll drop the link to, you know, Grom parts down below. A couple of the sites and stuff like MSX125accessories.com. There's a lot of stuff through there. But yeah, that's a good point, man. There's definitely a lot of aftermarket parts, but a lot of them are still over, you know, you have to order them from Thailand. But yeah, the prices for aftermarket stuff for both of the bikes is actually very reasonable. You know, the bikes being very small and, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Cost effective. What's up, man? Dude behind us. Should be like, yeah, you want to trade? Definitely a lot of aftermarket parts, and they're affordable, you know, so it's really fun to mod these bikes out because they're so affordable. You know, like the tires are crazy cheap. I think I paid like $130 for the set of tires for these things. You know, like the seat was like $100, as compared to a Harley, which is a seat is like $300 to $400, which is ridiculous. You know, just crazy. I mean, you can spend a lot on them, but for the most part, parts are cheap. So sitting here on the Z125, switched over, man, it feels so much different. My legs feel like much higher up. Woo. It does give you a sense of like I said, you like being more on a sport bike because your legs are higher up, they're more tucked. You know, it's like from back in my R6 and CBR days. Oh man, we got to get you like an exhaust on this thing.
Dude, I know. I'm looking at the pro circuit, so I'll probably end up biting the bullet on that one, but it's $340.
Oh, true that. Yeah, so parts can get pricey.
Yep.
So yeah, just going over the display and the controls and stuff here. You know, typical regular big motorcycle stuff. Right side, you've got throttle, you've got front brake here, you've got on-off switch, you've got starter down below, brake reservoir on right, doot doot. This one also had mirrors coming up and out, but Reese took them off because we don't like that big old ear look.
The damn elephant ears.
Yeah, the thing is, there's no mirrors on this one, which is weird for me. I like being able to see behind me, especially in Orlando traffic. It's pretty important. Left side, you've got your high beam and low beam. So high beam there, low beam there. You've got your indicators, but you're gonna use the right one because we're turning right. Skirt. Oh man, leading this thing feels awesome.
Yeah, it's so much different.
Yeah, dude, a lot different than the Grom. So yeah, you've got your left turn signal, your right turn signal, your indicator there, press in to cancel, got your horn down below. In terms of the gauge, you know, the display up front here, you have your RPMs is actually an analog gauge, which I absolutely love. I prefer that as compared to the digital one on the Grom. The digital one on the Grom actually doesn't it doesn't irk me as much as like some of the other digital gauges with RPMs that I've come across, like from Harley Davidson, because I feel like it's a little more responsive than those. But my personal preference, I like analog tacks, you know. So on this one, you've got, yeah, the analog tack. You actually have a gear indicator here. Also, you've got your fuel level below that. You've got your mileage, you have miles per hour, and then your odometer below that. Indicators all on the right, so you've got right, left. So the indicators here, they just flash, single indicator. You've got your high beam indicator there, low beam, and then you've got check engine light and neutral. Now Reese has adjusted this clutch side so that he can slip finger off of it really easily and do wheelies. So you see neutral there. And in terms of ergonomics on this thing, you know, like I said, your legs feel so much higher on this. So turning left and right, like with stock bars, it is touching my leg there. Same with the right side. In terms of picking up like peppiness, it does feel like it has more torque. Definitely feels like it has more power stock. I'll give you that, which is good. I mean, more power from the factory is always nice. Seating position, this one comes with a flat seat, which is awesome, because you can basically like position yourself, you know, forward, backward, kind of wherever you want, depending on, you know, where your legs are, how tall you are, and all that. So yeah, Reese being how tall? 5'9", you said?
5'8".
Yeah, Reese being 5'8", that's how he sets on the Grom. You guys saw him just now on the Z. So what would you say differences ergonomics wise between the Z and the Grom? How do they feel as compared to one another?
A lot higher on the Z than the Grom. The Z or the Grom, you feel like you're more hugging and you're more of like you're in with the bike. The Z, you're more on top of the bike.
Yes, that is a perfect description. You feel very much more on top of this one than actually on it. Yeah, that's good insight for sure. But that makes turning feel much different. Like it makes you feel like you can lean a little more. It does make it feel a little more sporty. I'll give you that. I'm not used to your brakes.
The brakes are a lot more grabby too.
Yeah, much touchier. This lack of mirrors is weird.
Oh yeah.
So what are your thoughts between the two of them?
Either one is a good bike. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Either one just depends on your profile and how comfortable you are with the bike. So either if you want to be more in with the bike, definitely go with the Grom. If you want to feel more on top, you're able to control it a little better, I'd say go with the Z.
True that. I would say, I mean, because a lot of people message me asking like, yo, I'm this height, do you think I'll fit on this bike? Best answer, I can't tell you if you're going to or not. You just need to go down to a dealership, or if you have a friend that has one, put a leg over it, sit on the bike, you know, have somebody hold it up for you, you know, pick your legs up, or if you're able to, go test ride it. That's the biggest piece of advice. In terms of price, like if you're looking for the one that's, you know, you're more on a budget, Z125 is probably the answer for you. You know, if you're looking to have probably more aftermarket parts, you know, bigger community surrounding it, the Grom is probably the one for you. But yeah, very comparable bikes, very similar bikes. If you're able to, like, if you're trying to decide between the two, if you're able to find a friend that has one, you know, take each one of them for a test ride. I know, you know, Honda does demo days sometimes, so if they do that, then cool. I mean, I like both of them. I'm more comfortable with the Grom just because, you know, that's what I ride. That's what I own. But both of them, very cool bikes. Awesome miles per gallon on both of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. What else? Is that it? I think that's it. So we're up here at Ace Cafe, trying to find Shade Tree up here somewhere.
He's on the porch right there.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
Cool. Deliver him some engine degreaser and a quart of oil for a Harley. Called me and asked if I could bring that stuff. So we've got that for him, which is funny. It's a crossover. So yeah, that's a comparison video between the Z125 and the Grom. If you guys have any questions, drop them down in the comments below. Hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. Thanks, Reese, once again, for riding along.
No
If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you guys aren't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, ride safe out there, stay vigilant, and we'll catch you later. Deuces.
Deuces.
I gotta get him on a Grom.
Yes.
Goodbye.